Hello there and welcome to Brian Lomax Movie Talk and my latest Blu-ray update. I just want to share some of the Blu-rays I've picked up recently over the past month or so, and mostly fairly cheap purchases from CEX, but also a new release, which, like I say, I don't usually buy new releases because I just don't see the point. They usually go down so fast, but in price, I mean. We'll start with that new release, which is La Land. Like I say, don't normally buy new releases, but I loved this film. I really thought it was just a great film, and also one that I could see myself watching with my wife. A film that I thought my wife would appreciate. So yeah, got it. We watched it together. She liked it a fair bit, probably not as much as I did, but there you go. I love this film. Watched it again like today, actually, when I recorded this video. But yeah, I loved it just as much as I did when I first saw it at the cinema. Next up is Inception, which is obviously a Christopher Nolan film. His Dunkirk will be coming out sometime this year. He's my favourite director. I have this on DVD, but it's definitely worth having on Blu-ray. It's one of his best films, I think, amongst a catalogue of brilliant films. It really is hard to pick which are his best films. I mean, for me, obviously it's the Dark Knight trilogy, but after that, his catalogue is so damn good that, yeah. But Inception. Next up is AntMan. I actually got this for free because I traded in... I'm not sure I should say this actually, but I got sent a screener from a company to review. Now, I was up front with them. I'll say that much. I was up front. I said the DVD that they sent me hadn't been released yet, and I said, look, I don't like the look of this film at all, so I will send it back to you. Otherwise, to be honest, I will just trade it in. And fair play to them. They said just trade it in. So that's what I did. And I got this. So, yeah. Free copy of AntMan on Blu-ray. Cracking stuff. Next up is Best Picture winner, 12 Years a Slave. Now, this isn't a film that I kind of envision myself watching again and again because it's just not one of them films, you know, a bit like Schindler's List. But it is a Best Picture winner, and I'm kind of trying to pick up all the Best Picture winners. You know, some of them I'm less inclined to than others, but eventually, yeah, I would like a shelf in which all the Best Picture Oscar winners are there. Call me whatever you want to call me as a result of that, but there you go. More often than not, there's usually another film in any given year that I would pick over whatever has won the Best Picture, but still, they are some kind of indicator of quality. I think most films that have won Best Picture, though you might argue that they didn't deserve it, it's very rare that you can argue that they're a bad film, I would say. They're still quite a good indicator of quality. And this is a quality film, I will say that much. Next up is Haywire, this Steven Soderbergh film. Now, I got a bit of a soft spot for Gina Carano. I think she's quite charismatic. Obviously, she's not the best actress in the world, but I think she has enough charisma to carry herself throughout the roles that she's done so far. This, I don't remember being a particularly great film. Now, it has a cracking lineup of actors in it. Michael Fassbender, Hugh McGregor, Bill Paxton, Channing Tatum, Michael Douglas. Really great cast. For that alone, I want to give it a rewatch. Like I say, I don't recall liking it that much when I first saw it. Although there were some really great action scenes in it. A particular standout was a fight scene between Carano and Michael Fassbender. So I'm willing to give it another go. And I also really like Steven Soderbergh as a director. He's made some of my favourite films. So I'm thinking maybe I was having an off day when I first watched it. But I picked this up for 75p. You know? 75p from CEX on Blu-ray. If I don't like it, it's not much lost, is it? Next up is Sunshine on Leith. Not seen this film. This was another one I picked up for 75 pence. It is directed by Dexter Fletcher, who did last year's, was it last year's or the year before? Anyway, whatever year it was, he did Eddie the Eagle, which I thought was a really good feel-good family film about Eddie the Eagle Edwards. Had Hugh Jackman in it and Taron Egerton. And yeah, from start to finish in that film, I kind of had just a big smile on my face. So to see Dexter Fletcher's name on as director on this film, yeah, it makes me want to see it. If he can put a smile on my face with this, like he did with Eddie the Eagle, whatever the hell it was called, I'll be happy. Next up is Last Chance Harvey. As far as chick flicks go, I think this is one of the best. Excellent central performances from Dustin Hoffman and Emma Thompson, who, let's face it, are really great actors. I don't think there's anything really that Emma Thompson could do that I would find unappealing. Even when she's been in terrible films, she's still been the best thing in them. So yeah, I watched this at cinema when I was a projectionist. I had to view the print. I wasn't particularly looking forward to it, but when I sat down and watched it, I became really involved with the characters, really liked it. And whenever somebody asks me to name some chick flicks that you think are really good, this is amongst that list. Next up is Hell or High Water, one of my favourite films from last year, made my top 5. Brilliant directing from David Mackenzie, and great performances all round. There isn't anyone in this film actually who puts in a bad performance, but I just love the story behind it. I love that these guys are getting one over on the banks, although you don't entirely feel that their methods are justified, particularly from one of the brothers. But yeah, it's a really good film in which you don't really know who to root for. So if you haven't seen this, I strongly urge you to check it out. It was nominated for Best Picture, and deservedly so. Next up is the start, I think, of The Reconnaissance, which is The Lincoln Lawyer. Yeah, this was the first film, I think, that kind of got Matthew McConaughey back on track after all those dodgy kind of Kate Hudson rom-coms, in which he was leaning against something in posters, as Mark Kermode so brilliantly pointed out. Yeah, this is a good film. It's a nice little thriller. It's not going to blow you away, but yeah, it's solid, is what I would say. Very solid. Next up is Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, if you want to give it its full title. I'm doing a bit of a Stanley Kubrick thing at the moment. I'm trying to go through all Stanley Kubrick's films. I started with Paths of Glory. I don't have any of his films before that. I know he did a couple of films before that. The Killing was one of them. I think there may have been 2 more, which most people say aren't that great. But yeah, I couldn't find them. So I started with Paths of Glory, and I have plenty more in a box set that I got at Christmas. But this wasn't in it. This isn't in the box set, bizarrely. So yeah, I had to pick it up separately on Blu-ray. Next up is the Fast and Furious box set. This has got the first 5 films, and I picked this up for £1.50 off Facebook, no less. Yep, there's a group on Facebook, one of them buy-sell groups, and this was on there. Someone was selling it £1.50 for the first 5 Fast and Furious films. I had none of these on Blu-ray, so yeah, what a steal. And finally, we get a decent Nicolas Cage film. You know, more often than not, you can't really say that about Nicolas Cage. Tends to be for every one really good Nicolas Cage film, there seems to be about 3 or more really terrible ones. This is one of the better ones. Knowing, directed by Alex Proyas. I think it was mixed, really, on release with regards to reviews. Some people really love it, some people really hate it, but yeah, I really liked it. Thought it was a really great film. I've only seen it the once, so I'm looking forward to getting around to watching it again on Blu-ray. Again, another really cheap purchase from CEX. But yeah, that's it. They are my latest pickups. Please let me know what you think of any of these films, love them or hate them. Please comment down below, let me know. And until next time, cracking.